Listen very carefully, because what I'm about to say will expose you. Machiavelli believed there are two kinds of people in this world: those who control, and those who get controlled. Today, you'll find out which one you are. No excuses. No mercy. Most people think Machiavelli was evil. That's because they see the world through a child's lens. He didn't write The Prince to create monsters. He wrote it to reveal the monsters that already exist. And he knew one thing: if you don't understand power, you will always be a pawn. Machiavelli warned that weakness is not a sin. It's a threat. Weak people blame others. Weak people wait. Weak people hope. And hope is the slowest form of suicide. Here's the first test. When someone disrespects you, do you confront them? Or do you pretend it didn't bother you? If you avoid conflict, congratulations. You just failed Machiavelli's first law. Because silence is not peace. Silence is surrender. Plato wanted a world ruled by philosophers. Machiavelli wanted a world ruled by realists. Which one are you? Philosophers dream. Realists win. Machiavelli taught one brutal truth: people only respect what they fear losing. Your time, your attention, your absence, your boundaries. If you give these things freely, you're not kind. You're disposable. All right, here's the final Machiavelli test. I want you to remember the last person who used you. Now ask yourself, did you punish them or reward them with more access? If you forgave immediately, you failed. If you stayed quiet, you failed. If you tried to be the bigger person, you failed horribly. Because Machiavelli understood one thing better than anyone: kindness without strategy is self-destruction. If this video exposed you, good. It means you're finally waking up. But if you want to stop losing, you must learn the dark rules that society hides. Subscribe before life teaches you the hard way. People today love to say, I cut toxic people out of my life. But Machiavelli would laugh at that. Because removing an enemy doesn't make you powerful. Understanding them does. He believed the most dangerous enemy is the one you refuse to study. Why? Because you can't defeat what you don't understand. And while you try to stay positive, they are planning their next move. Machiavelli knew this brutal truth. Your ignorance is their weapon. There are two types of silence: the silence of fear and the silence of strategy. Weak people stay quiet because they're scared. Powerful people stay quiet because they're calculating. When you speak too much, you reveal your thoughts. When you reveal your thoughts, people can predict you, and predictable people lose. Machiavelli taught that a ruler should speak rarely, and only when his words change the room. If your silence doesn't make people nervous yet, you still have work to do. Here's your next Machiavelli test. Think of someone you admire. Now ask yourself, why do you admire them? Strength? Discipline? Confidence? Or because they have something you don't? Machiavelli believed admiration is just another form of submission. You admire what secretly dominates you. Your heroes are mirrors reflecting your weaknesses. If you want to be powerful, stop admiring and start becoming. Most people will hear this message and go back to living exactly the same way, avoiding conflict, seeking approval, letting others define their value, and then they wonder why they lose. Machiavelli had a phrase for them: he who gives his power away deserves to be ruled. But you're different. You wouldn't be here if you weren't searching for something darker, something sharper, something real. If you want the next step, the step that turns strategy into domination, subscribe now, because the world doesn't reward the good. It rewards the powerful. Choose who you become. Machiavelli knew that every form of power has a price, but not the price you imagine. It isn't paid with money. It's paid with something far more expensive: your willingness to lose people along the way. Weak people want everyone to like them. Powerful people understand that being respected often means being feared by many. He wrote that a ruler must make decisions that people will hate today. but depend on tomorrow. That's the difference between a child and someone who controls the board. Most people believe that being good makes you powerful, but Machiavelli made it brutally clear. Kindness without strength is irrelevant. People admire good intentions, but they follow the one who can protect them. The world has always worked this way. The question is not whether you are good. The real question is, can you enforce your good? If you can't, your morality is decoration. Machiavelli noticed something brutal. No one is who they claim to be. Everyone wears a mask, including you. What separates the powerful is not having a mask, but knowing when to remove it. He wrote that a leader must be a lion in front of his enemies and a fox among his allies, hard on the outside, unpredictable on the inside, and always 2 steps ahead. Machiavelli understood something that most people never learn. Emotions create debt. Every time you pity someone, every time you forgive someone too quickly, every time you understand someone who harmed you, you place yourself below them. Because compassion without control is another kind of weakness. He believed that mercy should be used only when it strengthens your position, never when it weakens it. If your kindness costs you your power, it is not kindness, it is surrender. Machiavelli didn't want rulers to be cruel. He wanted them to be effective, and he discovered this brutal truth. People respond faster to fear than to love. Love inspires comfort. Fear inspires action. Fear is immediate. Love is optional. If you rely on love to guide your relationships, your team, your family, your life, you will always be negotiating from below. Fear, when controlled and measured, keeps your world in order. Here's your next Machiavellian test. Think about the last decision you made. Did you make it because you wanted to, or because someone subtly pushed you to? People influence you more than you realize. A sigh, a look, a question, a tone of voice. If others can move your actions with tiny signals, you are not in control. You're being puppeteered. And the worst part, you didn't even notice. Machiavelli believed that sometimes the right choice is the one that makes you uncomfortable. Not because it is wrong, but because it forces you to grow. He wrote that a leader must learn how not to be good when the situation requires it. Not evil, not cruel, just willing to make the decision. Others are too scared to confront. This is what separates rulers from the ruled. Here is your final test. Think of a moment where you stayed silent, even though you should have spoken. Think of a moment you let someone disrespect you because you didn't want conflict. Think of a moment you stayed small so someone else could feel big. Those moments are the reason you are where you are today. And Machiavelli would tell you this. If you want a different life, you must become a different person. This message wasn't meant to inspire you. It was meant to expose you, to show you the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. If you're ready for the next step, the step that transforms power into dominance, and dominance into mastery, subscribe, because the world does not reward the noble. It rewards the strategic. It rewards the dangerous. It rewards the ones who are willing to wake up.